Hello and welcome again, guys, to another day in my head. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I wanted to focus a little bit more on what actually goes on in my head. So one of the many things that people with mental illnesses tend to suffer from is being constantly exhausted. I'm no exception to that. A lot of the times I feel like I am drained, I don't have the motivation, I don't have time for this, even though I might be sitting there watching TV for a couple of hours. We generally tend to overexert ourselves in a couple of different ways though, and this is speaking more on a personal level and what I've heard from other people in groups that I have been in. Number one, we're always thinking about events in the past or in the future. We're never in the present. Being in the present is probably one of the largest obstacles that someone with mental illnesses has to overcome. I've been doing very steady treatment ever since February of this year, and I'm still having a lot of issues with being in the present. One of the techniques that I actually use for this is meditation. Generally, people with anxiety tend to not be as able to catch on to meditation as quickly as the average person. And so, myself included, I needed to find a different way to guide myself into this format. It's really such a drastic difference from what we're normally feeling and normally thinking that it's extremely difficult at first. I'll put a couple links in the description below to some of the apps that I find the most useful, but you can always do your own research and try to find what best suits you. So along with being in the present, another one of the largest obstacles for people suffering from mental illnesses is going to sleep. It's been only a few weeks since I can say that I've been able to get only 7 to 8 hours of sleep and feel rested. Many times I wasn't even able to function with less than 10 hours of sleep. Sleeping 10 to 14 hours a day, that was an everyday thing for me. The worst part about that though is that it kind of feeds into this perpetual cycle. I kept on feeling like I was wasting my day and wasting my time, and that always made me feel worse about my day, which made it even harder to go to sleep, which made it even harder to do anything productive. And it's still something that's constantly on my mind. I was thinking about it just this morning. And along with going to sleep, waking up is just absolutely horrendous. It takes hours to fall asleep to begin with. And once you're asleep, you just want to stay asleep. You don't want to get up, you don't want to be disturbed, but there's things that you need to do, there's places you need to go. You have to take care of yourself and have to take care of the people around you. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys here. Medications have only gotten me so far. The one thing that has actually helped is going to the psychologist and getting counseling and being able to work through this and doing the work. It is so difficult to put in the work, to put in the time to better yourself. You have to go to work, you have to go buy groceries, you have to do this, you have to do that. If you have a family, you have to tend to your family. But you have to realize as well that you can't be taking care of everybody else if you can't even take care of yourself. I wasn't willing to accept that idea. I had to take care of this, I had to take care of that, I had to do this for this person, I had to do that for this other person. But when it came to my own personal mental health, I kept pushing it out to the back burner. And the further I pushed it out, the worse that it became. So right now, like I said before, I've been working on my PTSD. So I've been shifting a little bit on the focus of what I've been doing with my counselor. This is actually one of the sheets that I have to fill out every single week. You guys should actually be able to see it right now on screen. This sheet actually goes through a lot of different things that you have to think on an everyday basis about. One of the biggest questions that I pay really close attention to now is I find that I can now safely feel a full range of emotions. Believe it or not, I wasn't really able to before. I had basically 3 emotions: depressed, anxious, and meh. And the meh feeling, that was just a feeling that I had on a good day. So now kind of wrapping it back into the beginning, as you can clearly see, these are things that are constantly going through my head. These are things that I think about on a regular basis, some of them from my past, some of them from now, and then many times I also worry about what's going to happen in the future. How am I going to be able to move forward from here? but I've been trying to get a lot better on focusing on the present and being able to sleep better. Because believe it or not, those two things are very closely intertwined. So before I close out this video, I just wanted to respond to a couple of things and ask for a couple of suggestions here. So as you can see in my background right now, I've changed this out to something that I bought here in Guatemala when I went last time. This was made by hand from one of the native textile workers near the town where I was actually born in. This isn't really a permanent fixture unless you guys enjoy it, but I wanted to ask you guys for a few more suggestions on what do you think would be good to put on the background. There's a lot of free space here. It really does cover a lot of room. So I wanted to ask you guys if you had any suggestions, any posters that I might be able to put up there, or if you guys are fine with just the textiles that I got from Guatemala. And on that note, I got a couple of things I need to do, such as completing my homework, to be completely honest, because I haven't even started on it this week, and my appointment is tomorrow. So I do hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you guys next time.